Is it just me, or is it just neater under the bonnet?
You see that the bonnet is not aligned properly with the bodywork.
Anyone up for a cassette?
J'adore le Citroen e-C4X. Yes, the Citroen e-C4X. Is it just me, or are electric crossover SUVs now becoming a boring sight because everybody's competing in that segment? I sure find it boring. Now, it is true that Tesla may have built the first ever desirable electric car back in the mid-2010s, but it seems to me that Stellantis and most of the competitors in the EU market, they've caught up very fast. Here is a Citroen e-C4X, and it is good for those who want to budget but at the same time want to buy an electric car. Now, this is very ideal, especially as a company vehicle. Now, on the topic of company vehicles, they are very popular here in the EU market, especially here in Belgium. This is all Stellantis' work because there was a time Citroen used to have a say, but in 1975 they went bankrupt, and since then it was Peugeot that did all the talking for Citroen. Now, Stellantis just happened, which equally means that Fiat Chrysler also get to have a say with Citroen, so like they get to decide things for Citroen. I know, right? The transfer of power. Now, this particular Citroen e-C4X costs 46,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? We're gonna find out in a moment, guys. However, I have to remark to you all something very interesting, and that is French car manufacturers have a reputation for offering designs that are very desirable, and they tend to look more expensive than what they really look like. Well, that's actually the case with Peugeot. Their cars tend to look really fancy these days, but Citroen was always the more simple one out of the two. 46,000 euros for a Citroen. Nobody would have imagined this 10 years ago. We're gonna have a look, guys, because this is electric, so electric cars are expensive for now. Well, not expensive, but they have a price for now, all right? So let's see if this Citroen e-C4X is good value for money or not. Now, over here is an electric motor that produces 100 kilowatts. Just about enough punch for a proper acceleration, and that too very quiet, guys. Strong environmental initiatives, strong performance.
Is it just me, or is it just neater under the bonnet? It looks really nice, guys. I like the presentation. It's so neat and tidy. Big contrast compared to what I've seen at the DS7, guys, because I saw the DS7 and underneath the bonnet it was just a mess almost. It was just like everything everywhere, tubes everywhere, wires everywhere, and there was no hard plastic covering the engine. But here we get this nice, beautiful presentation right here. Everything seems nicely aligned. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful. Wow. Okay. I think they did a really good job with this, or perhaps it's because it's electric, so that's why it's so simple. There's not much really to work on. But yeah, I mean, still, good job nonetheless, guys. Good job, Stellantis and Citroen. Here, guys, the Citroen e-C4X. Just take a look at this, guys. Now, essentially, this is supposed to be the Citroen C4, but this is an electric version of it, and now Citroen calls it the Citroen e-C4X. Now, the front doesn't look like something new. It looks like exactly the Citroen C4, and then also that of other Citroen models I've seen of late 2010s. They always have this formation. It started with the C3, I believe. They have this design. Now, I always repeatedly emphasized how it reminds me of the Citroen SM because of this formation. And it could be a reference to the SM, but it's not very clear. Citroen never makes their design clear. In fact, the French, they never really stick to evolutionary designs. They always have it revolutionary. They always change their design in the next generation. Now, this may have been problematic in terms of identity, but then on the good side, it's something different. It's something refreshing, something new for everyone. You get this LED light that's always separate from the rest of the lightings. Really nice. And you get one extra lighting all the way down there. Parking sensors at the front and at the rear, but you do not get a 360-degree parking camera, guys. To remark, guys, is that when it comes to the number of bolts, you get 4 bolts on the Citroen C4X. Citroen is one of the only manufacturers I know currently that offers a big vehicle with only 4 bolts on the wheel. Because most vehicles of this segment tend to have 5 bolts on the wheels or something, but Citroen sticks to 4, so it's cool. But this is actually something Citroen grew from. In fact, I'm going to point out something to you all. French car manufacturers, they expanded because of small cars. Entry at the front door handles, guys, but not at the rear door handles. As we approach this angle of the Citroen e-C4X, things get really interesting because there's something unique about the rear design. Like, take a look at this. Now, this is really something that stood out to me compared to the Citroen C4, because the Citroen C4 has a really interesting rear where you get the license plate all the way here and a small Citroen badge up here, and then but for this Citroen e-C4X, the license plate goes all the way down there, and it looks more desirable. It looks more simple on the rear. It looks really nice. But I don't know if it's just me. The rear design appears to be a reference to the classic Citroen model. Well, not classic, but it's a model that used to exist until very recently. It's called the Citroen Elise. Citroen CX. This is something Peugeot started, actually. So this is where I see a bit of a conflict, like who really began this sort of rear light. This is a unique side indicator. I think this is like the first time I see a side indicator in this angle, because usually most brands tend to have it horizontally here or something, but Citroen did something unique right here. Now when it comes to the windows over here, I've noticed first of all it has this fastback style to it. So this is the thing about French car manufacturers, they have a thing for fastback styles. That's a recurring thing. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising because they expanded thanks to fastbacks, especially the famous one being the Citroen DS, which was not really a sedan. Now, whilst exploring the exterior of the Citroen e-C4X, I also noticed some problems, guys. The first problem I would like to remark to you all is just what's going on over here. Like, for instance, when you see this bit of plastic sticking out right here, it appears as if this bonnet is not aligned properly with the badge, or as if something is just not aligned or misplaced. You know what I'm saying? The bonnet is closed, but seeing this plastic, it makes it look like there's something unfinished over here. And then speaking of this area, I don't know what is it with other PSA group cars, especially Peugeot. They have a thing for fake vents right here, like vents that don't even have a purpose. It's not even a vent, but it's shaped like a vent. You see, there's no air intake over here. That's something I found a bit questionable, guys. Because the air intakes otherwise are right here and right down there, which is good. On the bright side, you do get a rear parking camera, but no parking cameras on the side. It's very interesting. And then also another problem I've noticed, guys, is that Citroen decides it's okay to put the reverse lights all the way down there. For a car of this size and price and segment, why would you put the reverse lights all the way down there? It's not really visible to other road users. At least that's my opinion. And I'm saying this from experience, guys, because the one time I did see a car where its reverse lights were all the way down there, and I noticed it was reversing towards me. So I was like, well, why is it going back? Did the person forget to put the handbrake or what? And then only later I realized the reverse lights were on, but they were all the way down there, guys. So you see, from my vehicle, it's not always visible to see the reverse lights if it's down there, you know? Just noticed another problem, guys. The bonnet is not properly aligned with the rest of the bodywork. You can see it from this angle, and if you look closely from here, you see that the bonnet is not aligned properly with the bodywork. Like, look at this. It's more underneath. It goes downwards. Now, this is a little bit alarming, guys. What is happening with the bonnet? Now, I don't know, maybe this was done deliberately for the aerodynamics or perhaps for pedestrian safety. It's not very clear, but yes. And then it's funny because here the bonnet is more downwards, but then as we approach this part of the exterior, the bonnet is more outwards, and this part of the exterior is more inwards. So something is not right here. There's a lack of alignment with the bonnet. And then on this side, something funny is happening. The bonnet is perfectly aligned. For some reason, this bit of plastic sticks out. And on the other side, we do not see that plastic sticking out. So what I've just discovered is a quality flaw. Yep, that's right. On this side, the plastic doesn't stick out. So what I've just discovered is a quality flaw. That's the thing about PSA group cars and Stellantis overall, is that their cars are very fancy, very stylish, but they were never the kings of quality or long-term reliability. And yes. Time to explore the interior of the Citroen C4X, well, the e-C4X. But before doing so, I want to point out something awesome, guys. heated front seats for both the passenger and the driver, and you get lumbar support for the passenger front seat, guys. Now the passenger front seat gets manual seating adjustments, but you get lumbar support right here. Awesome. Ta-da! Now driver's side is where you get all the goodies you want. Electric seating adjustment has to be my favorite, guys. And but no seating memory. Now that whether that's questionable or not, you all be the judge. But seating memory, I personally don't find it necessary. Another advantage I'd like to point out to you guys is that the door is very long, so it covers this part of the interior. So on a muddy day, you do not need to worry about mud splash. Now let's just first take a moment and admire the seat, guys. I've noticed Citroen has developed an obsession of having leather and then fabric that separates another tone of leather above. So the leather above seems more simple, not a lot of stitching, but then this fabric separates it, and then you get this, guys. Now the number of stitching is not as much as a Louis Vuitton bag, too bad for that, but on the positive side it looks quite appealing, it looks quite nice. Good, so it's like black leather with white stitching on top. Now, presentation of the interior, guys. Looks very, very appealing. Looks almost like what I've seen of other Citroen cars. So like the Citroen C4. Something about it boasts simplicity. So it's not so try-hard like Peugeot. Because Peugeot has just gone all, I don't know. Just don't even get me started. But when it comes to Citroen, I just love the way they've maintained things. When it comes to trim, guys, over here you get this piano black trim just around the transmission and little storage area right here, and your handbrake right here. Then over here you get some piano black right next to the infotainment system. And then for the rest of the interior, the piano black is nowhere to be seen except on the controls right here. But then you don't see it on the doors or anything, or on the steering wheel. You get piano black right here, but why do you get this third spoke like this? This could be a reference to something. We'll cover it, guys. So infotainment system right here, digital instrument cluster. Now, when it comes to the instrument cluster and the infotainment system, I've noticed that Citroen has an obsession for fancy details, like fancy styling, especially presentation of the instrument cluster and the infotainment system. And it all started from the Citroen Grand Picasso, or the Citroen Picassos, the minivans. Well, basically they're like those small mini vans which which used to be very popular, but you don't see many of those these days. But they had a thing for fancy displays. Climate control down here, guys. Heated front seats, wonderful. And I just love the presentation. And now you get hard plastic right here, and right here as well. You get some leather, wonderful, and plastic controls for the window. It's the quality of the plastic is exactly like other PSA Group cars. Window controls, mirror controls, guys. Looks wonderful. And you get this trim right here. Now, this is the exact same thing I've seen in the Citroen C4. And yes, to me, it was a bit problematic, but I'll cover that later, guys. A lovely steering wheel, guys. The steering wheel is good. I like the feel of it. It's good for its price and segment, but I just love the presentation of this. I don't know if it's just me, but this is my favorite part. Like, I just love the feel of it. It's really, really nice. Now, something about this third spoke, it's a 3-spoke steering wheel, right? The 2 spokes above are nice, but this third spoke is... I was about to question it, but then at the same time I wonder, it's probably a sign of identity, because with the Citroen CX and the Citroen SM and some Citroen molds, Citroen always had a single spoke steering wheel. So there was one big spoke right here, and there was no spoke on the steering wheel. So this could be a sign of identity. I'm not sure if Citroen did this deliberately for that cause, or perhaps this is just a Stellantis thing. You get a panoramic sunroof, well, almost panoramic, I believe. Right, guys, we cannot forget about practicality solutions, so let's get it. USB port right here, wireless telephone recharge right here, and then another point right here, 12-volt socket right here, and you get a deep storage space right here. Looks very practical, and I love the mat it's lined with. Oh! What is this? An additional storage space down there! That's like a secret passage. I did not know there was a storage space down here until I accidentally pulled this up. I thought this was just a mat. Okay, pleasant, guys. Good surprise. Then you get an additional storage space right here. You can use it for your key or some coins. Looks nice. Now, central console storage, but this is a prank, okay? I mean, look at this. This is just for your armrest. You get a small center console, guys. It's not very deep. Now, for a price of 46,000 euros, this can be questionable, but you will see, guys. There's more surprise. Just wait and see. Anyways, so, and then 2 cup holders that are nicely covered under this shutter. Presentation is amazing. There's some premium car manufacturers that don't even bother covering their cup holders. So well done, Citroen. Looks very nice, but it's a fixed size here, guys. However, it is hard plastic, so if there's any mess in there, you can clean it up easily. Wonderful. Now, this is the best part of the interior, and I'm going to show you guys what happens here. Do you see this wonderful bit of chrome? Anyone up for a cassette? I sure am. Look at this, guys. Wonderful storage solution right here. Looks amazing, and this is the first time I've ever seen something this creative from Citroen in a long time. Wonderful. I always knew they had a thing for fancy storage solutions. Now, this, I don't know what it is about PSA groups, but they always have deep glove boxes. One of the best glove boxes ever. Wonderful, guys. Now, I don't know what exactly this is. I opened it, and this pops out. I think it's supposed to be a clip to hold your paper or something. Please let me know, guys, what this is, because I think it's a clip. It's not very clear. It is not enough to have a stylish interior, guys. I also noticed some questionable aspects. Well, basically some problems, and I'm going to point them out right now. First thing I'd like to point out, guys, is that some things are just not really clear, okay? Like, at first glance, you think to yourself, oh, okay, isn't this supposed to open or not? Like, for instance, what is the purpose of this bit of chrome? Because the way it's positioned, it's almost as if it's meant to be pushed for something to pop out. Or the door also has a bit of a problem. 46,000 euros, and you still get hard plastic over here on the window controls. In fact, they look exactly like what I've seen in Peugeot as well. The door bin is nice, but it looks like it can't fit a big water bottle, and it's very short. It's not even the full way, guys. It's all the way until here only, and nothing else happens. And then also another thing I'd like to point out is that this bit of trim has a really random position, and I pointed this out in the C4 as well. Why exactly do you have a trim like this that's shaped like a door handle? A few times I thought I had to pull it out to hold it as if it's a strap. So it's not very clear why Citroen indulges in some random trims. Now, for some reason, all the climate controls are right here, but isolated over here, you get a heated steering wheel. Why is the heated steering wheel isolated right there? Like, why not just put it on the steering? Like, why not put it here or perhaps here? Or and you do not get any storage space up here for some reason. It's time to explore the rear seat of the Citroen e-C4X, and I have a very good feeling that this is going to see popularity as taxi for some reason, because think about it. Look at how practical the front was, and then especially the rear. When I went to France, guys, I saw lots of white cars. For some reason, they have a thing for the white paintwork. And now, seeing this presentation, it reminds me of France a little bit, especially if you see a Citroen sedan for a taxi or a Peugeot sedan for a taxi. So, since France has taken strong environmental initiatives, I wouldn't be surprised you'll see e-C4s being used as taxis. Okay, now, rear seat, guys. Plentiful legroom. Plentiful knee room. My headroom is also very good, and the headrest is really, really nice. It's very cozy. Look what I get above right here, guys. Beacon of Hope lighting, and with some speaker, I believe. Oh, and for a real taxi experience, you get this armrest right here. Is it just me, or do PSA group cars have armrests that just don't have a clear way of opening? I don't know how to open this armrest, guys. Like, see, it's not very clear. Ah. Okay, finally. Alright, so after a lot of struggle, I had to open this armrest, which is a problem, because most car manufacturers have a strap or something to pull down from, but Peugeot and Citroen don't offer anything. Anyways, armrest right here. It's 2 cup holders of fixed sizes that are diagonal. They're not very horizontal, and you get a little storage space for something small. Okay, and it's very firm, by the way, this armrest. So it's almost as if it was an afterthought, or perhaps it's optional. That's why. You get air vents right here, USB points down, back seat pockets, guys. Wonderful, and it's all leather. It's all squidgy. So if ever your knees make contact with it, it'll be fine. You'll be comfortable. Nice door bin right here. The door bin is surprisingly better than what I saw at the front. Good. The door looks fantastic, except there's just more plastic than the front. And this windowsill is wider. This has to be the widest windowsill I've ever seen for back seats. Now you get a nice handle right here, but I do not see any coat hook anywhere. Now that is a little bit of a question, guys. A bit of a problem. Now just one problem I've noticed, guys, is that the seat, this edge of the front seat is really sharp. So you just have to watch out that in long terms you do not want your feet making contact with this part. It sticks out very proudly, so you just have to be careful, guys, not to scratch yourself. Now it's time to explore the boot space of the Citroen e-C4X, guys, and already first thing I've noticed is that it's very deep. Good for your luggages, guys, ideal for taxis, but one thing that's not ideal is just the entrance. The entrance is not big enough, guys. See, it's only from here till here, and it's all because of the window, and it's all because of the fastback styles, guys. Most fastbacks would have the window open as well. Now the boot space is very deep, but I already noticed some problems. Okay, first advantage is that you do get tether points, right? That's if ever you'll see use for it, because it's not very, well, I mean, it's very deep, but it's not very tall, guys, the space in there. But now the problems that lie is the fact that there's no 12-volt socket in the boot space. And okay, gorgeous material right here, but just look what's above. Exposed metal. 46,000 euros, and I have to see this.
My conclusion of the Citroen e-C4X, everyone. I have to say that the Citroen e-C4X is a really, really unique vehicle in its own ways, guys. It's basically a Citroen C4, but that's electric and looks more desirable than the C4 itself. Initiatives in electric cars, something desirable and something that's fun to drive, just like a Citroen always used to be, at a cheap price tag. But now, for a price of 46,000 euros, is this Citroen e-C4X good value for money or not? On the topic of electric cars, it's not always easy to discuss about value for money, guys. We have expectations nonetheless, though. When it comes to Citroen, with this Citroen e-C4X, I feel like equipment was hit or miss. Like, for instance, the exterior did not have a 360-degree parking camera. And then as soon as you go in the interior, you were greeted with a lot of surprises like electric seating adjustment, wonderful practicality solutions. Everything was almost a plus, right? But then something was missing, guys. Something, guys, is the door. I don't know what it is about Citroen C4 doors, but they're just really odd. Like, I don't understand what was that random trim about, and I just don't understand what was the small door bin for. Like, some things didn't make any sense. So, something about the interior was hit or miss. That's all I can say. The question, is it good value for money or not? Well, I have to say it is good value for money. You want my opinion of the Citroen e-C4X? My humble opinion, I love it. J'adore le Citroen e-C4X ou C4X. It's a very desirable electric car, and it's one of the best electric cars in today's generation, guys. Affordable, city-friendly, and it's just very pleasant. This is the thing about Citroen, guys. Simplicity, fun to drive and everything, but just some questions, guys. But then there are also a bit of a problem. Be careful about long-term reliability. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. And don't forget to check the links in the description for my car reviews, travel videos, and my creativity videos. I'll see you all next time.